The exercise files for today's course are located in the video description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Welcome to our course on Google Docs. You're learning with Mo Jones, IT professional and educator. We'll spend some time taking a look at this very innovative and modern platform for creating documents. Now, just to kind of get set up here, what is Google Docs if you have not used it before? It is a modern document creation tool. You can create documents like resumes or project proposals or school reports. There is a document for all different types of industries and purposes. We can create and format an online document. So we can go ahead and use all the tools that's necessary to format our document. And we can go ahead and share that with anyone that has access to the World Wide Web. When you're creating a document, whether it's a resume or a project proposal or meeting notes, or even a research paper, you can start from scratch, or you can work with an existing template that gives us some really nice designs and options. We can learn a lot from the templates as well. What will we cover in this course? We'll start off just by getting started. What is Google Docs? What are some best use cases? We'll take a look at the interface and how we can access Google Docs as well. For lesson 2, or part 2 rather, we'll focus on formatting and styling text. In part 3, we'll work with paragraphs and sections. Here's where we start to build the structure of our actual document. And we'll go ahead and insert and manage elements, images, tables, charts. We'll also take a look at the collaborative opportunities. How can we share and how can we collaborate in real time with others? In part 6, we'll take a look at some more templates and styles. We'll learn some keyboard shortcuts and some more of the advanced features and tips. So this is what we have in store for us today. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in.
Looking to support our channel and get a great deal? Become a member today to unlock ad-free videos. That's right, your favorite courses without a single ad. Interested in a specific video? Purchase one of our ad-free courses individually. Looking for even more? Gain access to exams, certificates, and exclusive content at LearnitAnytime.com. More information can be found in the video description below.
Welcome back. Well, if someone asks you what is Google Docs, well, you can say Google Docs is a modern document creation tool. We have all the tools we need to be able to create a professionally looking document, and we can share with others as needed. We can start from scratch, or we can use an existing template. Now, you may ask, well, why would you want to use Google Docs? Well, a great use case here for Google Docs is you want to collaborate on a document with multiple people in real time. So you want to be able to edit that document at the same time. Whether you're in the same room, on a different floor, in a different city, in a different state, in a different country, doesn't matter. Everyone can work on that document at the same time, and you can see what's going on. You can see where your other colleagues, what they're doing. It's a great way just to be able to work on documents simultaneously. It's ideal for team projects, brainstorming sessions, or situations where quick feedback is necessary, and again, across different locations. So it's a great way just to have everyone have their own kind of experience with the actual document that is being created or modified, and they can work at their own pace. So it's a really, really nice use here. Now, here are some common uses of Google Docs. Team meeting agenda and notes. So someone can be designated as the note taker, or everyone can actually mark up the meeting agenda and notes document. Project proposals. This is a big one. Collaborate on writing and revising a project proposal with your team members. No need to be in the same room and working off, a single physical document. You can work together virtually. Student group assignments. This is a big one. Google Docs is used heavily in higher education and K through 12 as well. So multiple students can work in a document together for a class project. I've had many of my students collaborate on a Google document together before they turn in their work to me. Drafting legal documents. So there's a place for legal as well. Lawyers can work together on contracts or legal documents with real-time feedback. So those are just some common uses and why we want to use Google Docs and exactly what Google Docs is. When we come back, we'll go ahead and jump into lesson 1. We'll open up Google Docs, we'll take a look, have a peek around, and we'll start creating something special. For part 1, let's go ahead and get started here. We'll take a look at how we can create and access documents, and we'll take a look at some basic document operations as well. The first thing we want to do is to be able to get to Google Docs. I'm going to be using Google Chrome, and I'll bring my Chrome window over here. So here is my Google Chrome, and we want to go to docs.google.com. So if you just open up your browser and type in docs.google.com, that will allow us to be able to go ahead and open up the main interface here. So I'll go ahead and press enter. And we can see now that we are in the Docs. So here's Google Docs. So a couple of things that I can do here, I can start a new document. Eventually, we do want to click on this option here to start a blank document. We will see some templates here as well, kind of a short list of templates. So we have project proposal, brochure, training proposal, and 3 resumes here as well. You may see different options here, and that's okay. You'll also see your recent documents kind of showing up down here. So anything that you've worked on recently will show up down here as well. Let's take a quick look around here. Let's take a look at the template gallery. So I'll go ahead and click on this button here, and this will open up the gallery for me. And let's go ahead and open up an existing template to just see what we can create, what's possible, and get some ideas here. So I'll go ahead and click here on the template gallery. And we can see we have a lot of templates in here that I can use. Here are resumes, right? So some nice modern looking resumes in here. This one is pretty nice, a business letter. And then we have some personal ones, such as one for recipe or even a pet resume. If you have pets like me, I can do that. I don't think they'll be entering any dog shows in the near future. They're not those kind of pets. All right, we have project proposal. So a lot of work related here, some meeting notes that are in here as well. And you can see what we're seeing here is a lot of color, a lot of organization in these documents. So we can gain some inspiration in here as well. Here we have some graphics that are integrated into a newsletter. A few newsletters in here and an actual brochure that's in here as well. And if I keep scrolling down, there's some other ones here. These are add-ons. So we need to do something special to be able to get those. HR related documents, job offer letter. So a lot of options in here for us to use. And then at the bottom, don't know why these are at the bottom, but we have education. So it's an essay, report, MLA. So a lot of options in here. We have a science report in here as well. Well, let's see. I'll go ahead and we just want to go ahead and open one and kind of take a look at the actual interface here. Here's one for a sales quote. No, I don't want that one. That's an add-on. Let's go for, let's see. Let's go for project name. I'll click on this one. And this will open it up for me. So this is Google Docs. We have a file tab over here. So we can create something new, right? We can share with others. We can make a copy. We can email this file if we want to. We can download it to open in Microsoft Word or another type of format. So a lot of different things we can do here. We can pull up the version history. So it's a little different here. If you're used to the other Office applications, you don't see a drop down here, but I still like this drop down feature. So we find things that we can insert in here, such as images, tables, charts, drop downs, smart chips, a lot of really, really nice things in here that we can do. So just from kind of just looking at the interface, we can see a lot of the common tasks that are available for document creation is in here as well. Well, this one has a nice accent here at the top. So this is a shape. And then we have an image placeholder here. You can see image. So we can actually replace this image and make this our own to make it relevant to the actual project name. As I scroll down and as I'm interacting with different elements, you'll see some kind of, some bubbles appear here. So we can suggest edits. We can add comments there as well. If I come down, here's the project name. So we can see that this is using the title style. So once I hover over here, here's the title. So these are styles that are in here. And let's see if I scroll down. So just placeholders, we'd put the project name in here, the date, my name, and the contact information as necessary. Here's the other accent that's in here. And then down here, we have the overview. So we just need to replace this text with the overview, the goals of the project, the specifications, and then of course, every project needs some milestones. So we can track the milestones in here as well. Over here to the left, we can see the tabs and outlines. So this is like a table of contents. If I click here, it allows me to jump to different places in the document. So if I click on where it says project name, this is because it's using a style. So it's using the title style. So any heading styles that are being used, they will appear here on the tab, which is another way of just saying table of contents or navigation here. If I click on overview, I can see overview is using the heading 1 style. And so this is the key to having an organized document. Right? Let's see, this one here is kind of indented over. So this is most likely a heading 2 or heading 3. So a few of these are indented over to the right. Let's click on there. I'll click on this one here. And there you go. So we can see this is a heading 2. So it just gives us some structure in our actual document. So this is pretty nice. We have nice colors in here. I like the color scheme. The colors are simple, but they work together really, really well. So really, really nice option in here. Right. We have the headers in here. We can see the page number at the top right. Typically the first page, this is like a cover page. So this doesn't really have a header here. But if I were to add more pages, this would automatically change or display the corresponding page number on the top right. In addition to the menu here, so we have formatting, tools, extensions. So everything is here that we need. Up on the top right, we can take a look at the edits. We can show the comments. We can even go ahead and share. Right? So we can go ahead and share. We have different sharing options. We can share for view only, or we can share for edit access. We can also collapse the menu. So if I click here, this just gives me a little more space to work with. But if I want to put it back, I can just click here and it shows the actual menus here as well. So this is pretty nice. So we'll see how we can create a document that looks something like this. At the end of the course, we would have incorporated images, charts, tables, some of these different text styles in here as well, and a lot of formatting, headers, and footers as well. So go ahead and explore this template and come right back. Welcome to part 2. So we'll take a look at formatting and styling text. So I'll go back to my Google Docs here, and I can either close this one here just by clicking on the close button here for this tab, or if I click on the file tab here, I can go ahead and create a new document. I'll just go ahead and create a new document here. And we can see that this is untitled, and we'll get some help here, just kind of reminding us that we can use tabs to be able to organize our document. I'll go ahead and click on got it here. I'm good to go. We don't have a title in here yet. Let's go ahead and create a project. Right? So let's just call this project tracking. Right? So we're good to go. We can see it saves automatically. There's no save button here. All the changes that I make, they're saved in real time. So I'm good to go. My work will always be here. I cannot lose my work. Now, before we start creating anything, we have some templates in here. So we can actually click here and we have meeting notes, right? So if I just kind of hover over meeting notes, we can see it's inserting a chunk of text for me, the date, the calendar, the attendees, the notes, and the action items. So pretty nice. Let's see, an email draft. I can go ahead and draft an email. Then I have more in here as well. I'll go ahead and click on more. Let's see what options are available here. And this is really cool. And this is what I was saying, that this is a modern document creation experience. A lot of really nice options in here. So we can literally just insert all these different chunks of text, right? For project management, let's see what we have available here for project management. So here's the review tracker. So I can insert this review tracker here, and you can see I have some dynamic columns here that I can work with. I can specify the reviewer, the status, and the notes. What about project assignments? So a lot is in here that I can use to successfully track a project. So pretty nice. I can track assets, and we're good to go. But we can do that later. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Close tab. If I click on the Insert tab, I can go ahead and access the building blocks right here later on. So let's just go ahead and add some text, right? So I can start just adding some text in here. Now, if you want to, we can go ahead and I'll just put the name. I'll just call this project tracking. And then what I'd like to do first is just kind of set up the shell, right? Set up all the different parts of my document here. I do have a notepad item. It's called file number 1, project template. And you can use this as a guide. So just to save time, I'll go ahead and just copy and put some of the information in here. I just want some of the basic information. Let's see, I may add some of these later, but for now, I do want the name, the presenter name, the description of the project goals, and I'll also go for the, so I'll actually go ahead and grab all of this here. Let's see if I can I'll enter a line here and I will right click and let's see if I can paste in here. Now, if I paste it, it's going to bring over the formatting from wherever I pasted. So what I'm going to do is use the paste without formatting option. And this will just kind of give me the default format for my document here. So there we go. So you can see it looks uniform, looks like the rest. And there we go. Right? So just a few parts in here. So let's go ahead and make some changes here. Now, I do want things to stand out. I do want to create sections in here. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight my project tracking. This is the title. And right up here, I have some basic text formatting that I can use. Under styles, this is what I want to grab. I want to go ahead and grab this here. And what I would like to do is give it the title style. So I'll go ahead and click on title. We can see the title style has its own, predetermined formatting. The size is 26. Right. And then down here for the description, I'll give this a heading 1. So I'll click on heading 1 for there. And now as I'm adding these styles, you can see that my tabs here, or my table of contents, or my navigation is starting to be created. For the project goals, that's also going to be a heading 1. And then finally for the description, that's also going to be a heading 1. So pretty cool. So I already have the structure of my document in here, and I can start entering some information in here. And then if I need more content later on, we're going to be building on this. But for now, I just want these 4 main sections: project tracking, description, project goals, and the description here as well. So go ahead and enter these first couple of sections. Go ahead and apply the styles as necessary. If you want to go ahead and style out the other parts here, so for the project name, the font is a little small. I'll go ahead and increase the font size to 12. And I'll do the same here. Just make it a little bigger. You can also zoom in if you want to. So if you click on the settings here, you can always zoom in. That will make the text look a little bigger. So it's up to you. But I want it to be at least size 12. So I'll just triple click a line to select all the text on that line. I'll go ahead and make that size 12 here. So go ahead and enter the details in here. Go ahead and put in a project name, company name, presenter name, and fill out this information and come right back. Welcome back. So far, we're able to create a new document, add the structure of our document in here, and we're able to use some styles such as the title and the heading 1 styles as well. Now, let's go ahead and continue. We'll take a look at some of the different font commands here. So we have everything that we need right here to be able to format the text. We've already taken a look at the headings. Let's go ahead and choose the font that we want for our document here. We can adjust the size as necessary. And we have the basic formatting commands here: bold, italicize, underline. We can choose the text colors if we want to. We want to add some colors in here. And then we'll head on over to some more paragraph commands, such as we can specify the alignment, the paragraph spacing. We can convert this into a bulleted list if we want to. And we have some clear formatting over here. So we'll go from right to left. We'll take a look at some of these different formatting options. So I did enter some information in here. So project name is Track My Projects. The company name is Solutions by Mimi. And the presenter is Mo Jones. The description is to track all of the projects and related tasks for our client. As far as the project goals, we want to record, track, and report on all projects, not just a specific project. All the projects are under the umbrella of the organization, and the goals are relative to each project in here as well. Okay, well, the first thing I want to do, I want to go ahead and change the font. So I'm going to highlight all of my text here. Let's see if I can press Control A. Yeah, so if I press Control A on my keyboard, that highlights all the text for me. And let's see what options I have available. I do like the Georgia font, so I can change it to any one of these fonts here that's available. It's not going to change the size. Everything will remain the same size, but everything will have its own, have the same font in here. So I'll choose Georgia. And that looks good. I like the way the Georgia font looks here. So it's pretty modern, very, very nice. And we're good to go. So now, as I enter more information, we'll see that it's going to stay within the Georgia font. It's not going to default back to the Arial. So the nature of documents is it continues the formatting from above. Okay, so I'm good to go. I already have my font in here. And let's go ahead, let's see. The size is okay for now. That's fine. And maybe I want to go ahead and make some of these different sections bold. Right? So maybe for the description, let's see, I'll make that bold. We can see it just stands out a little more. I'll go ahead and click here. Right. So it just kind of makes it stand out a little bit. Right. If I don't like what I did, I can just undo it. I can click on the undo button here a few times, and that, so if you ever make a mistake, just undo. You can also press Control Z on your keyboard to go ahead and undo it. Okay, well, what I want to do is the text that's in here, that's in between my headers here, I don't want to give them a particular color. If I click on the text color here, I have two options. I can either choose an existing color. So here's some colors in here that I can use if I want to. Down here, if I'm not finding what I'm looking for, I can click on Add a Custom Color. And this will allow me to either enter the RGB value of the color that I'm looking for, or if I have the hex number, I can go ahead and add the hex number there as well. So this is the benefit of working with a template. I'll go back to the template that we looked at earlier. And if I were to select some text, and if I click on the color down here, so notice that this template is using a specific set of colors. So here's the custom color palette for this particular template. So this just makes sure that we're sticking to these theme colors here. So these colors work together well. And so that's why we have that option there as well. Now, if I hover over one of those colors, you can see right there, it's giving me the hex number for that color. So this is close to light green 14. The hex value is B3A77D. So there's many different places where you can find colors. A lot of websites, free websites, will provide different color codes, either the RGB value or the hex value there as well. So we do have the capability. The other option is if I want to go ahead and just add a custom color, I can click right here which says pick a custom color. And let's say I want to add this, this nice light blue up here. So if I click there, we can see it did add that as a custom color down here. I did not necessarily want to, change this to that color. It's very difficult to see. So let's see, I'll click on clear formatting. Let's see if that will clear the color for me. I'll highlight that chunk of text. Click on clear formatting. And there you go. So it just kind of resets it back to the default size and the default color. Unfortunately, I do want this to be 12, so I'll go ahead and make this 12 here again. Right. So at this point, you're going to go ahead and choose the actual colors that you want to go ahead and use. Right. So let's say I want all of my heading 1s here to be a nice orange color. So I'll go for this orange here. And I'll also go ahead and make it bold. Well, let's see if I can make all of the other ones that same one as well. So I'll click on Update Heading 1 to match. And let's see if that will convert all of my heading 1s to that orange bold color here. So if I click here, and look at that, it does. So that's a nice quick way to update all of your headings. Just go ahead and, so it's almost like we just created our own heading style, right? And there we go. So just go ahead and update go ahead and update that heading and use the Update Heading 1 to match, and that will update all of your headings for you. Okay, I'll move on over here. Okay, so these, I do want these to be a different color. Let's see, I'll go for a darker blue. See what that will look like. That's a little too blue. So I'm good to go. Let's see. Okay, that's fine. I'll leave those. Go ahead and choose whatever color you want. That's perfectly fine. I'll leave these as is. And next thing I want to do, now I'll move on over to the right here. And we'll see that we have some bulleted lists in here. Now I did copy and paste the data from here. So this looks like it's a bulleted list, but it's actually not. Notice when I click on it, we can see that the bulleted list is not active. So when I copied and pasted this, it did not copy correctly. So I'm going to delete that space there. So I'll just press the backspace key a few times. And then I'll go ahead and highlight, and I want to convert this into a bulleted list. So I'll click here, and there you go. So now it's a bulleted list. And if I want to add another item, it's going to add another bullet for me. Now we can see down here, here's an example. This looks like a bulleted list, but it's not. If I press the Enter key, it's not adding another bullet for me. So I know that something is wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same here. I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to just insert a bullet. If I left that bullet in there and tried to add a bullet, it just looks like there's two bullets. So it's a little weird. So I can just go ahead and delete that. So either which way you want to do it. Now I can press the Enter key, and we can see it creates another bullet here for me as well. All right. Let's see if I can move this back closer to the margin. Nope, can't go back any further. That's fine. All right, excellent. So now if I want to, I can create level 2 items. So this is a list. So that top line is level 1. I can create a level 2 item. Right. So here's kind of the high goal. And then here are the sub goals of that particular goal. So I have level 1. And then I have some level 2 items down here as well. Great. My spell checker is giving me some options here. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll move these over as well. So just organizing the document and using the different commands that are available here. Last thing I'll do is the paragraph spacing. I'll go ahead and press Control A. And right here is the line and paragraph spacing. So right now it's using 1.15. I want it to be a little smaller, so I'll use single. And we can see it just kind of removes a lot of the empty space in between these lines here as well. So I'm good to go. So those are some of the basic formatting commands that we can use. Welcome back. Let's take a look at part 3 here, working with paragraphs and sections We did start off with some paragraph formatting. We're able to select all of the content on our document and choose the paragraph spacing there as well. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the sections and the page layout options that are available in the Google Docs. Now, we did press Control A and we chose the paragraph spacing for the entire document. So you can do that, or you can just select a chunk of text and specify the paragraph spacing just for that chunk of text, right? So either the entire document or based on your selection. So I'll use 1.5 for here as well. Let's go ahead and click on the File tab. So if I click on the File tab here, not a lot that we can do right now. We don't want to share it yet. We don't want to email, download. We don't want to add it to Drive. The things that we can do right now, if I click on Page Setup, this will give me some options. So you'll notice right at the top, right now I do have pages. I only have one page right now. And we can see the paper size right now is letter, so 8.5 by 11. So I can choose the paper size if I want to. Maybe I want legal in here. So I can go ahead and choose legal right here if I want to. I can go ahead and change the page color. Right? So we can take a look at the different page colors that are available. And then we can specify the margins. Maybe I want to use more of the space. Right? There's a lot of unused space over here because of the margins. So let's see if I can make this smaller, maybe a half instead of 1 inch. This way I have more room to work with on my actual document. So let's change the paper size first. So I'll go ahead and change this to legal. I often use tabloid. Since I'm not actually printing, I typically don't print these. I use tabloid. This gives me a lot of space to work with, especially when you're inserting images and tables that can span the entire width of the document. But I'll choose legal here. And I'll also change it to landscape. Let's see what that looks like. So landscape is just going to give it a more wide orientation. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave it on letter and just simply change it to landscape. And let's see what that looks like. So I'll go ahead and press OK. So you can see it's just a little wider now. So not really relevant here, right? Once I start adding some images and charts and tables in here, we can see how the landscape orientation is going to work really well for us. I'll go back in there. I'll go back into page setup. Let's change the margins on the left. Let's see if I can make this a half instead. And on the right, let's see if this will work for me. I'll go ahead and press OK. If this works, it should move my content over closer to that left margin there, so I can use a little more space on the canvas. And there we go. So the margins, right? Smaller margins allow you more room to work. Still have a pretty big margin here at the top. That's fine because we'll insert a nice header in there later on as well. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'll go back in there one more time, and this time I'll click on page setup. I'll put it back to portrait. I'll leave the margins alone. I'll go ahead and change the page color. So let's say I want more of a, let's see, I have blue and orange in here. I don't want something that's going to clash too much. I'll go for a, say, really light, a dull yellow. Now I'll go for a dull white. I'll go ahead and press OK. And there you go. So we can see we can change the entire color of the page there as well. All right, I'll go back. Page setup. I will remove let's see what a black page looks like. Let's see how the colors look on a black page. Let's see if it will change the text to white for me. And it does not. All right, so the other colors look fine. It looks more like a web page now, but I'm good to go. I'll go back and just put it back to no color. And I'll just put it back to white, actually. The other option here is page list. So if I click on page list, this is a really nice option. So right here, it tells us the page list format allows us to add wide images and tables and consume content without the interruption of page breaks. Right. Let's see what that looks like. So we can see here is just kind of like an endless scroll. We don't really have like pages in here. Right? So we can just kind of keep on going and keep on adding content here. I'll click on File and I will click on Print. Let's see what this looks like. So it's just going to continue to grow without actually having pages in here. Right. Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll go back and I'll put that back to pages. I'll leave it here as letter and I'll go ahead and press OK. This is page 1 of our document. I do want to add another page. So I can keep pressing the Enter key and that will actually add another page for me. So if I just keep adding Enter, eventually gets to the end and it's going to insert another page. So here's page 2. But I don't necessarily have to do it that way. That's kind of the long way to do it. Let me just go ahead and undo all of those changes. If I click on the Insert tab, a lot of things we can insert. We'll insert some things in just a little bit here. What we want to do is to insert another page and set that page up so that we can add our images, our charts, and our tables to that page. So I'll click on the Insert tab here. So I want to make sure I'm on that last line of the current page. I'll click on Insert. And let's see, if I head on down to break, I can insert a page break. I can also just press Control Enter. What that does is it pushes the content down to the top of the next page. So you want to be careful. You want to make sure that you are on a blank line. So for example, if I wanted to push my description here down to the next page, I can say push that down to its own page. And I can do that. Right? But in this case, I'm going to press Enter a few times. I want to break away from this list. And then I can go ahead and insert an actual page break. Now we have another option here, which is called a section break. So let's go ahead and insert the section break and let's see what happens when I do that. Okay, so this inserted another page, but everything looks the same. Well, let's see what I can do here. I'll go back to that page setup tab. And notice now, because I've created a section, this used to say just, the whole document or based on the selection. But now I can apply changes to just this section or this page. Let's see if I can just change the color. Nope, not letting me change the color there. What can I do? I can have my own custom margins. I'll make this landscape and I'll go ahead and press OK. And look at that. So now we have page 1, section 1. It has the portrait orientation and the size is 8.5 by 11. Now we have page 2, which is section 2. And section 2 now has the landscape orientation and it still has the same paper size, 8.5 by 11. So what is the benefit of inserting a section break? When you insert a section break into your document, that section can have its own specific formatting. So in this case, we can change the page size and the orientation. So now this page is ready. It's a little wider. We can add our charts, our images, and our tables in here as well. Let's start taking a look at the Insert tab and let's see if there are some different things in here that we can insert. We are going to insert images and tables as well. We may insert a quick chart as well. But for now, we have some other things while we're talking about page setup. We have headers and footers. So I can go ahead and insert a header. So I'll go ahead and click here. So here is the header space. So notice how it opens up that header space for me here at the top. And from here, I can go ahead and add my content in here. Now, I can go ahead and add whatever I want. So let's see, maybe I'll go ahead and maybe this section here will be for, let's say, adding content. Right. And let me just click away from there. So I can just go ahead and let's see if I can press the Enter key. So that gets me out of the header. And here's the header space. So notice I can't really interact with it, if you want to get back into the header space, you can double click at the top and that opens up the header space for us. Right. So that's how we can insert headers. We can see it's also been added here on this page as well. If I were to insert another page, so I'll go ahead and use the insert a page break. You can see that every time we add another page, that header is going to be showing up on that page as well. So let's see if I can manage this one. Maybe I'll center align this one here, and I'll just make it italicized. Okay. Let's see if that change has been made to all of them. We can see that they have been made to all of them here as well. Well, what if I want another header? I'll go ahead and double click in here. And let's see if there are any options here. Not really. I mean, I can add the page number. Maybe I like the page number on, let's say, the top right there. So here is the page number. Let's see if I can move that over to the right. All right, so there's page 1, here's page 2, and here's page 3. Right. Maybe I want the page number to be on the bottom. So I'll click on Insert, and I'll go ahead and insert a footer. And for the footer, here's where we have our page numbers. So I'll go ahead and put the page number down here. I'll go for this one. And I'm going to align that to the right. Right. So there's our page number. And I'm going to remove, let's see if I can remove this header, because I want to go ahead and add something new in there. So lots of clicking here. I'll go back to the header, and maybe I'll just go ahead and put the name of the document. So I'll call this project tracking. So there you go. So project tracking, and maybe I'll put that all the way to the far right. Line it to the far right here. And headers are typically, just kind of not visible. They're kind of subtle. So I don't want to make it bold. I'm not going to change the color. I'll just make it italicized. And if I scroll down, I can see that appears at the top of each page here as well. If I want a different first page, so this will remove the header from the first page, and it will appear on all of my other pages as well. So we do have that option if we want to. And I'll leave it turned on for all of my pages here. I'll press the escape key. There you go. So we have my header and we have my footer here. So we are good to go. For part 4, we'll go ahead and insert some images, some tables, and some charts. I'll go back to my page 2 here. So remember, page 2 has the landscape orientation. Allows us to add some big tables and charts and images in here as well. I'll go ahead and insert a simple table just to be able to track some of the tasks or projects. So I'll click on the Insert tab here. And you can see right here, we can insert images, tables, charts. Right now I want a table. Now I can choose an existing table. We have some pre-built tables, which are really, really cool. For example, here's a review tracker. If I click on View More, so here are meeting notes that I can insert. As far as project management, here's a project assignment that I can go ahead and use, which is pretty cool, right? So lots of different dynamic tables that we can go ahead and add. So that's there for us. If we need to use it, we can just go ahead and change the names and go ahead and edit it as well. But let's go ahead and insert a table from scratch. So I'll click on the Insert tab here. And I'll go for a 4x4 table. Okay. Now, here's my 4x4 table. So I'll go ahead and just add some detail in here. I want to go ahead and track the owner of the project and the name of the project. And let's see, maybe the status of the project, and then maybe the due date of the actual project. Great. So I'll start by adding my information in here. So we've got a few project owners, and then I've got So now I can go ahead and type in the information manual in here if I want to. But what I would like to do, let me go ahead and close these over here. What I'd like to do is go ahead and insert some drop downs, right? I can insert some nice drop downs in here to be able to track it. So for the project, I'll go ahead and do that here. Right? So I'll click on the Insert tab and I'll go for a drop down. And there's some built-in drop downs in here, such as I can create a new drop down if I want to, or I can use an existing one. So I have, let's see, project status. And I have, well, this one here will be the status. So I'll insert the drop down for here. So this will be for the project status. And so it already inserts it in there for us. So we have, not started, blocked, in progress, or completed. For the due date, I'll add another one as well. So a drop down here. Okay, this one actually is going to be different. I'm going to insert what's called a smart chip. And this will be a date picker. So we can just click on a small calendar and add the date. So I'll use the smart chip for this one. And I'll use today's date and I'll press OK. Right. So pretty cool. The only thing with this is, it only does it for one cell. So what I'm going to do, typically you'd get this kind of setup before you start entering data in here. So I'm going to delete these two rows. And so I'll right click and I'm going to delete these two rows. Let's see if I add another row, if this will automatically include these two dynamic interactive boxes for me. So I'll go ahead and right click. I want to insert a row below. And there you go. So as we insert rows, it does add those for us. So I'll go ahead and add another one here. I'll insert another row below. And now I can go ahead and enter some information. Okay, so I'll go ahead and add Adele in here. And then I'll go ahead and add Grady. So I'll say this one is in progress. This one has not started, that's fine. And Grady, this is also in progress. This one is due. So I'll go ahead and click on the, let's see. I'll click here and let's say this one is due on March 31st. Right. I could even set a time if I want to, but that's okay. And then for Adele, this one has not started yet. So we know that it needs to be completed by the end of February. So I'll put that detail in here. 28th, and I'll press OK. And Grady's needs to be finished right at the beginning of the second quarter. So April 1st. Press OK here. So we're good to go. So I'll go ahead and add another row at the top. And then I'll go ahead and merge those columns together. This way I can go ahead and add a title. So I'll right click on that top row. I'll insert a row above. And now I want to merge those cells. So I'll go ahead and highlight all of them. And I'll right click. It's really nice. We can do a lot of right clicking to access a lot of these commands. So I'll click on merge cells and I'll call this one project updates. I'll go ahead and center align that text. And I'll go ahead and make it bold. And I'll increase the size so it stands out here. I do also want to change the color. So if I click right here towards the end of my menu where it says more, this should give me some simple table tools that I can use. So I'll click here and here's the fill color. So I'll go for a cornflower blue and I'll make the text white. For that second row here, I want this to be a different shade of that color. So a lighter version of that color. And I'll make that text bold as well. So pretty nice looking table. So those are the basics with working with a table. Just inserting or deleting rows and columns. If I want to delete the table, I can right click and I can delete the table. and we're good to go. Right? We can also specify the alignment for the entire table. If I click here, I can go to table options, and here are just some quick layouts for the table, such as aligning the text to the center, right? Some other commands in here, and the color. So we're good to go. And so go ahead and build your table and come right back. Let's take a look at some images here. If I click on the Insert tab, I can either upload images from my computer, I can search the web, or I can search my drive, my photo gallery, take a picture, or by URL. I'm going to go ahead and search the web. And let's see if I can find something related to project management. So here are a few pictures, right? So project management that I can use. So lots of really nice visuals in here that I can use. Just want something that's relevant. I want something more that's just kind of mimics an icon. I'll go ahead and click on this one here. I'll go ahead and insert that. And there we go. Pretty nice looking picture, right? Once I click on the picture, you'll notice the menu has some, to the far right, we have some image options here. So we can crop the image. We have image options, and we can go ahead and replace the image as well. Right. Let's see if I can actually go ahead and add this into one of these cells in the table. Let's see if I can drag it. Maybe I'll add another column here to the right. Let's see. You know, I'll just insert another row below. And let's see if I can drag this in there. And look at that, I can, which is pretty cool. So I can drag my image right there inside the table, just for more for more context. So it's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to drag it back out. And the image doesn't always behave properly. Right? I'm just trying to move it from right to left. It's kind of hard to do that. Right now, it's coming in with the inline option. So let's say if I change this to either wrap text or behind text or in front of text, I'm going to use wrap text. And let's see if this will allow me to move it freely now. Now I can move it freely. Right? Just keep in mind the text, if you have text around it, it will distort your text. So if I move it back up to, let's say, up here, notice how it's kind of breaking up the text here. Right? Right. So just change the wrapping and then we can go ahead and adjust it. I'll go ahead and make this a little bigger. Just want to go down a little more so I don't go down to the next page. And maybe I want to go ahead and, maybe crop this. I don't really need all that space on the outside here. So I can go ahead and crop this. I'll go ahead and make this smaller. So I'll click on the cropping tool, crop image right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and move some of that detail. And this allows me to make it wider so I can fill out more of the space here. Once I'm done, I'll go ahead and click away from it. Now, I can go ahead and make it a little wider. And we can see right there, that red line, I'm hitting the footer. If I make it any larger, it's going to go down to the next page, which is not what I want to do. Right? So, looks okay. I'll crop it a little more because I'd like for it to fill out the entire space. So I'll just go for those two lines there. I'll go ahead and make it as wide as my table. There we go. Not the best quality image. You can see as we resize it, kind of loses some of the pixelation there, but that's okay. Let's see what I have here in terms of image options. So we have the size and rotation. So I can rotate it, or I can specify the height and the width manually. Let's see the position. Nothing much there. I can recolor it. This is pretty interesting. Let's see. Maybe I want to make it more black and white. I can do that. I'm going to undo that. And as far as adjustments, I can increase the brightness or the contrast. Let's see if I make it a little brighter. so we can do that as well. I can also reset it if I've made a mess of things. And so those are just some of the basic options here. If I right click on the picture, just a repeat of what we see here, replace the image, reset the image, image options. And let's see, I can change it to portrait. So this should, it doesn't really work. Portrait should kind of give it more of a square orientation instead of a rectangle, but that didn't really work there. So those are the basics when working with an image, right? Let's see if I can replace the image. I'll click on replace image. I'll search the web. Let's see if I can find a better looking image there. This one looks pretty good. I'll go ahead and replace it with this one. Right, so that looks okay. Still not the best quality. So I would probably just, look for a picture and upload it myself. Kind of surprising these are not as high quality as I thought they would be. But those are the basics when inserting an image. The main thing is to change the way it interacts with the text. Once we change it from inline, you can move it freely. Let's go ahead and add a chart visual. I'll scroll down to page 3. Now page 3 has the portrait orientation, so I want to go ahead and change that. I'll go back to the page setup here, and I'll go ahead and change this to landscape. Now I can just make this page, so this is page 3, section 3, or going forward, I can just apply the landscape orientation to any pages that I add in the future. For now, I'll just leave it just for this section only. I'll go ahead and press OK. Here's our landscape. Let's go ahead and insert a chart. We'll insert a pie chart just to kind of keep track of the expenses for our project so far. So I'll click on the Insert tab, and here are charts. Well, I want a pie chart. We can change it to another type of chart later on. For now, let's just go ahead and insert a pie chart. And here is the pie chart, and it defaults to this points scored in 4 teams. Well, let's go ahead and change it. If you scroll up here, or if you click on the chart rather, on the top right, I'll click on the linked chart options, and I can go ahead and open up the source. So a Google Sheet was created that has the data for this chart. I'll go ahead and open up that source. And this is where I can go ahead and make all the changes to the chart and actually go ahead and change the data as well. So I'll just put some projects in here. So this will be the name of the project. This is going to be project 1. And you can see it's already kind of being updated here, right? Here's project 1 that we just made. So any changes we make right here to this small list, it's going to display on our chart right away. So I'll go ahead and just fill out some more details in here. Okay, so I have 4 projects. I'm tracking the expenses. I'll go ahead and make these, I'll change these numbers here to 24,000. Sorry about that. 12,000 and 38,000. We can see our pie chart is already building here. I'll go ahead and change these to the currency format. And so here is our pie chart. Well, it looks pretty good and it works really well. If I go back to my Google Doc here, I do need to update. So if I click on this update option here, this will update the actual chart for me. So we can see we have project in here. Well, let's go ahead and do a few things. Let's go ahead and change the name. Maybe we'll go ahead and center align the chart title. Let's add a background color, and let's go ahead and change the font. Maybe make this a donut, and maybe make it a 3D pie chart as well. So I'll go back to the to the Google Sheet here. You can always just click here and go back. I already have the source open, so I'll go here. And I'll go ahead and click on the 3 dots here to the top right, and I will click on Edit Chart. Now, once I click on Edit Chart, we have the Setup tab, and we also have the Customize tab. So here in the Setup is where we can change it to a different type of chart. So we have column charts, bar charts, line charts, right? Here's a donut chart. Some other charts are in here. They're available as well. Here's a gauge. Here's a geo chart. So lots of different charts in here that we can use. Down here, I'm going to go ahead and click on Customize. And let's take a look at the chart style. Let's see what we can do here. I can change the background color. So I'll go ahead and change the background color. I'll go for a black background. And I want to use the 3D option here. So looking pretty good so far. I'll go ahead and make this a little bigger so that we can see it. And that's it for the chart style. For the pie chart, here's the donut hole. So if I make this 25%, there's a little hole in our donut. I'll make that 50%. It's our donut hole here. And for the slice label, what do we want to be displayed on the actual slices? So in here, we can display some data. We can display the label. Well, let's see what that looks like. I'll display the label. So this is the actual project. It's kind of duplicating it here though. What about the value? So here's the value, 24,000. Of course, we have the percentage, which is already being showed here. So I'll just go for the actual value. And I can change the font color if I want to. It's kind of blending in right now. Maybe I'll go for a white like that. And I'll make that italicized, make it bold as well. So that's the pie chart. If I go down to the pie slice, I can actually change the color for each of my projects. So for example, project 1 has this color. Where's my project 1? Right here. So I can change it to another color if I want to. Maybe I want that to be, I don't know, purple. So I can do that. Go ahead and undo that. So we can do that. And we can also specify the distance from the center. So we kind of get a, we have a little, it's kind of being pulled away from the donut here. I think what I'll do, the largest value, I'll go ahead and pull that away from the center. So I'll go ahead and undo that. And for project 4, it's a little hard to see it right now. I'll go ahead and pull that away from the center. And there we go. All right, so that's just one option. It does get rid of my percentages though. So I'll put the percentages back here. And then for the chart axis and titles, here's where I can change the title. It says points scored right now. So I'll just call this one project expenses. So again, we're just kind of going through all of the customization options here to see what's available. I'll go ahead and center align the title and I'll make it bold. And I'll also change the color to, let's see, title text color. There we go. So I'll go for, let's say, an orange. That looks okay. And then we have the, let's see. Yeah, so we can change the font if we want to as well. So if you want to go for another font, I'll go for the Georgia font. See, that takes place there. And then for the legend, so the legend will be what's being displayed over here. I do want to change the color, so I'll change the color to orange as well. There we go. And I'll also make that bold. I'm on a black background here, so I'll make that bold as well. So that is looking pretty good. Right. Now I'll go back to my Google Doc here and I'll update the chart. And there it is. Right. So we can resize the chart if we want to. Again, we want to show charts, so we can use the landscape orientation here. And we're good to go. So if we want to make any changes to the chart in the future, if I close this sheet, I simply just need to click here and click on Open Source and go back to that chart. Let's see if I can change the chart type. I'm going to click on the chart here. Give me 1 second. And under the setup, let's go for another type of chart. Maybe a column chart. So this shows the expenses. And So if we wanted to add more data, move the chart out of the way, right? So maybe add another column in here, maybe, month 1 and month 2 expenses. This will update the chart for us as well, right? So there's a lot of granular options in here when we are working with the actual chart, but this is where we need to go to make any changes or customizations as well. I'll go ahead and change this to I'll change this to a stack column. Not really much there. I'll go for a bar chart. So there you go. That's how we insert a chart, add our data, and customize the chart as well. A great benefit of using Google Docs is collaboration and sharing. Now, we can go ahead and share our Google Doc with anyone, anywhere in the world that has access to Google Docs. And so we can collaborate in real time, which means that we can both have the file open at the same time. We can be making changes, whether we're sitting on the same computer in the same room, or in a different office, different building, different city, different state, or even different country. So when we are sharing, we'll be asked a few questions. Who do we want to share the file with? And what type of access do we want them to have? I'll go back to my Google Docs here. I'm back on page 1. So we're able to add some content on here. I'll go back to page 1. Now on the top right, you'll see the share icon. So right here, we can click on the share icon, and this portion will provide us with the capability to send the access to the file via email. If we click on the arrow right here, this will give us the capability to copy the link to the clipboard, and then we can go ahead and share the link here as well. So why would you want to share a link versus the email? Well, if you're in a meeting, let's say you're in a Google Meet meeting, you can go ahead and put the link in the chat, and everyone can go ahead and just click on the link and access the file. Otherwise, you'd have to type everyone's email individually to be able to do that. So that's where the link comes into handy. So if I just move my mouse here, and right now it's telling me it's only private to me. So anything that we create on Google Docs, it's private to you until you actually share it, right? You don't have to share it, but when you're ready to share it, we have the dialog here ready for us. If I click on copy link, this will open up the dialog for me. Now, once I click on the share button here, it's going to open up a dialog for me, and I can go ahead and determine who I want to share the file with via email and what type of access I want them to have, right? So there's kind of different access that we can have: editing, suggesting, or view only, right? I'll go ahead and click on the share icon here. So once I clicked on the share icon, here's the dialog that opens. So I can add the email address in here. I can type a message down here if I want to. So I'll just say, please edit this file on page 1, right? Or page 1 of this file. So this is who I am sharing the file with. I need to go ahead and specify the type of rights that I want them to have. So if I click on this drop down, so they can view the file, so they cannot make any changes to it. Any changes that I make, they will see the changes in real time, but they just won't be able to make any changes or edit. It's very common to send it just view only. We have commenters, so they can leave comments in here. And we also have the editor in here as well, right? So I'll go ahead and just leave it on editor, and I'll go ahead and press send. Again, here I can copy the link right here as well. I can click on the settings option here for some more advanced sharing options. But for right now, I just want to go ahead and press send. So I get a message here. It says you're sending an invitation to This is a fictitious email address. Since there's no Google account associated, anyone holding this invitation will have access without signing in, right? So pretty cool. I'll go ahead and click on share anyway, and I'll be ready to collaborate. Now, once I've done that, I can see that the access has been updated. And if you take a look at the share icon now, you'll see that the share icon now has a little indicator there that is being shared with at least one person here as well. Now, if I want to, I can go ahead and turn off the sharing. I can go ahead and just click back on that share button, and I can stop sharing the actual document. So anyone that currently has a link, if they try to use the link, it will not work for them. So you may need to remove someone's access and you'll be good to go. Well, let's see what this looks like. I'll go ahead and get this set up so that we can take a look and see how the real-time collaboration looks from two different accounts. Here we go. So this is what real-time collaboration looks like. So on the left, here is my account. And over here on the right, here is the account that I just shared it with, right? So we can see we have a small indicator here. We can see that one person is in here collaborating. And from my other account, I can see it here as well. Little indicators here in terms of who's doing what and where they are in the place of the document. And so we're good to go. So let's say I'm the collaborator here. I'll go ahead and press the enter key, and I'll just go ahead and add some more details in here. And you can see right here, you can see Mo Jones, both accounts, is making an edit right here as well. Or maybe I'll just go ahead and make a small update here. I'll go ahead and let's see if I can find, I'll go ahead and convert this to a heading 3. And we can see the change has been up here as well. On this one, I'll go ahead and convert this one to a heading 3. Right. And we're good to go. So what I can do is I can go ahead and I can insert a comment so I can see the change here. So if I click on the show all comments here, I can go ahead and add a comment. So I'll go ahead and add a comment, and I'll just say, why was this changed to H3? And I'll go ahead and click on comment. If I come back over here, I can see an indicator right here that a comment has been posted. So I'll click on show all comments, and there it is. So now what I can do is I can click on this comment and I can reply, or I can just add a new one if I want to. I'll just go ahead and reply, and I'll just say testing out the formatting. I'll say, how does it look? I'll go ahead and reply. So now this is pretty cool. So we can just kind of have this dialogue going back and forth as we're working together on this particular file. So no need to pick up the phone. We can just go ahead and comment right in here as well. I'll go ahead and just reply, and I'll just say looks good. I'll go ahead and click on reply there, and I'm good to go. So that's what real-time collaboration is all about. Step 1 is just sharing the file. And step 2, providing editor access to the individual that you shared the file with, and working on the file together, just communicating using the chat to communicate. That's one way. There's other ways to communicate as well. You can use Gmail, or you can use, a messenger app. But for now, we can work on the file at the same time here, and we are good to go. The great thing is there's only one place where this file is. We do not have to send a separate copy of this file. All the changes are made in one place, and we are good to go. In part 6, we'll take a look at some more advanced features and tips, such as keyboard shortcuts. We'll revisit templates and styles, and we'll take a look at a useful add-on or an extension that we can use. I'll go back and open up my Google Doc here. So it's looking pretty good. So we've basically covered all the essentials here. We have some text in here. We can see that the styles allow us to just add some format, all right, and some order to our document. And then we can go ahead and add other types of visuals in here as well. Well, if I click on the Help tab here, we do have some shortcuts that are available. And this is pretty cool. This is one of the few documents, one of the few applications rather, that actually shows the shortcuts. Typically, we would have to do a Google search to find all the shortcuts here. So if I just click here, this will reveal the different shortcuts that are available. And it's really nice because we can see we have some organization here and we have some text formatting. So these are pretty universal. Control B's to make the text bold. Control I, italicize, U, underline, right? So pretty nice. Some are 3 key shortcuts like striking through the text, Alt, Shift, +5. So a lot of nice options in here. Paragraph formatting, normal text. So here are the different styles that are available from, normal text and then up to heading 6 as well. To center a line, here's another kind of universal one here as well. Control E, this will center align your text. Now when you're working with objects, we can resize objects with those 3 key shortcuts there. And we have editing, right? Control F is pretty standard across browsers. That allows us to search the page. If you want to find and replace text, we have Control +H as well, right? As far as navigation, right? Here are the different options in here that we can use. And of course, any menu related, if you press the Alt key, this will allow us to go to a particular menu like the File tab, Edit, View, Insert. You can see the Alt down here. It gives those options as well. And so those are just some quick shortcuts that you can use. You're not going to memorize all of them. You're just going to go ahead and use the ones that are more relevant to your, your daily usage of Google Docs. Typically, I just kind of work with the text formatting, sometimes with the navigation items as well. And those are sufficient for me. So go ahead and check out those different shortcuts. Go ahead and give them a quick test run here. For example, if I want to go ahead and make this bold, I can press Control B, make it italicized, Control I, underline, Control U. And if you do it again, it pretty much will undo those changes as well. So go ahead and check out those different shortcuts. Come right back. Now, when it comes to templates and styles, now remember styles are already built in here. We have some styles such as, some basic headings. We saw how we can actually make our own or update one of these headings by formatting the text and using the update to match option here. But if we click on, when we think of styles and templates, we think of fonts and colors because that's what a template is. It's a set of fonts and colors. So down here, you'll notice that we don't really have any colors down here. So when you're working with the style, if we choose a template from the template gallery, you'll notice the difference is we'll have a different set of colors down here. So this would be a color palette that the professional has created. And those colors will be accessible as we kind of go through the document here. We already saw how we can actually just go ahead and add our own custom colors down here. So if we click on that plus icon, we can enter either the hex value or the RGB value of the color that we're looking for. We can also use this tool to go ahead and pull in any color. So we did use this earlier to pull in the color from the share button here as well. But you may want to just go ahead and start with the template. So you can actually insert part of a template into our document. So if I go down to the last page here, so if I click on the File tab and I click on New, this will not open up a new document. This will actually insert the template into my document. So let's say, I just want to go ahead and maybe I just have the cover page so far. And actually, I'll go ahead and create a new document. So I'll create a new document here. And you can see right here, we can start with a template if I want to. But if I just add some text and I started looking for some colors and I realized, you know what, I'll prefer to use a template. So I can actually click on the File tab, click on New, and I can go ahead and insert the contents of a template. So here are some templates that are available. We have meeting notes, right? And you can see just by looking at it, they all have their own font and their own set of colors that are available for that particular template here. So I just want one that has some, we'll go for a minimalist. Let's see this journal here. Let's see what colors are available. And if you click here on the left, this will show you the different tabs. So this is going to insert all these different tabs here for me. So notice if I have to click on insert. So this pretty much inserts right here into my document for me. Here's tab 1. So this is the text that I was working on, but also adds these other tabs in here. And it's pretty nice. Well, let's see what colors comes with this. So here's a nice minimalist color scheme. And let's see what the font is. So we can see the font here is Montserrat, right? It's not that default Arial. If I go back up to tab 1, you can see this is Arial, but the rest is going to be a combination of, let's see, that's heading. So we can see it's the Montserrat style. Let's see if I can, here's a to-do list. I think I'll go ahead and keep this one. So, well, what I want to do, let's see if I can delete these now, right? So I'll go ahead and delete this tab because I just want the colors that are available in here. So I'll go ahead and delete these. And there we go. I'll keep this one. This one looks pretty nice. Nice little to-do list with some check boxes in here. So I'll leave this one alone. And then let's see if I press enter or if I enter a page break. So I'll click on insert. And let's see, where is my, I'll press control enter. Okay, this is pageless, that's why. So I'll click on the file tab and I'll go back to page setup and I'll convert this from pageless to pages. I'll go ahead and press OK. There we go. It's kind of making a mess of things here, but let's see. So I'll go ahead and insert a page break. And let's see. We can see it's continuing the Montserrat font. And if I check the colors here, I still have access to those colors. Let's go back to tab 1. Let's see if I have access to those colors. And I do. I do have access to those. So that's a nice way. You can just go ahead and either start with the template or you can insert a template into your document and take advantage of the fonts and the colors that comes with that particular template. The other option when you're working in Google Docs is the capability for add-ins or what we call extensions or add-ons. So if I click on the extensions menu here, I can click on Get Add-ons. And this will bring me to the Workspace Marketplace. And there's a lot of, I know it's a little confusing. We have extensions, we have add-ons, we have Marketplace, and now we have apps. But just think of them as add-ons, a lot of different add-ons that we can add here. We can look specifically for add-ons that work for Google Docs, which is what we're currently filtering for now. And there's a lot in here. You may be familiar with some of these. There's a lot in here. Some are free. Most of them will kind of give you a trial that you can use. So we have an AI email writer in here, plagiarism checker. We have the box integration. So it allows us to integrate a lot of other applications so that we can work more efficiently in Google Docs. Right? Now, typically when you use one of these extensions, it's going to ask you to give permission to do a lot of different things like search your documents, edit your documents. So you will need to provide different layers of authorization. What I prefer to do is just to go to the Chrome Web Store. So if you're actually using Google Chrome, which I encourage you to do for Google Docs, I can go to the Chrome Web Store. And this is where I prefer to go to grab my extension. So for example, here's Grammarly, really nice tool. And you can see it's used by over 47 million users. It's a really nice tool and tells you right here exactly what it does. So it works just like an app that you're installing on your Android device. If you kind of the same Play Store-ish looking setup here as well. So we do have a lot of options available. So go ahead and check out the web store, or go ahead and check out the workspace, the different add-ons that are available as well. Congrats on completing the course, covering all the essentials here. We're able to just take a look at basic document operations. How can we get to Google Docs? How can we start a new document? We covered formatting and styling. We introduced working with sections, different formatting for each page section. We're able to insert a couple of elements such as images, tables, and charts. And we took a look at how we can share and collaborate. Go ahead and make use of Google Docs and enjoy.